Alrighty, how's it going? My name is Victoria. I am the owner of Fraser Valley Lash Academy. I am also a NELA accredited lash artist and educator, and I have designed an all new way on how to enhance your skills as a lash artist and to enter the industry and become a successful lash artist. So I'm going to start off by introducing to you what lash extensions are. So basically, yeah, hold on. There we go. So lash extensions basically are an enhancement of the natural eyelash. So we are going to be placing an extension onto one natural eyelash to enhance either the length or the diameter of the natural lash. And we do that through using a couple different techniques that are um, available to us. The first one that we learn is the classic lash application, which is the one-to-one. So basically the one-to-one, all it is just going to be extending the natural lash to bring it out and make it appear longer than it normally looks. So when eyelash extensions are properly placed, it should not affect the health. Let me rephrase that. It will not affect the health of the natural lash. Okay, so that's why it's really important to make sure that you are choosing an educator or trainer that is going to be focusing on maintaining the client's health of their natural lashes. And we do this by making sure the proper weight is being applied and proper aftercare is being discussed. So I just thought it would be fun to kind of go over a little bit of lash extension history and kind of where it comes from. Did you know that lash extensions actually date back to the 1800s when the Egyptians were building the pyramids? That's right. So basically what they did, they didn't have sunglasses back then, obviously. So they would take bits of their own hair, their human hair, and they would use a piece of wax to attach them to their eyelids. And that was to protect their eyes from the sun rays in the desert, right? So it was really important for them to still be able to work and keep their eyes open. So they would create almost like a barrier using their own hair to extend their eyelashes so that they're able to work in those conditions in the desert. And then if we want to fast forward a little bit, about 100 more years, this is actually when it started becoming more of a beauty thing. So back then, 1899, or actually it says 1882 in that one photo there would actually be a beauty technician and he would use a needle to sew in human hair to the eyelid. And believe it or not, this is actually where the theory and the practice of hair implants came from. So they actually found out that the hairs were starting to root into the eyelids and actually creating more eyelashes. But this was very painful, of course. The person receiving the service would be numbed up with some sort of topical solution. And then they would actually have to sit with their eyes bandaged up for a good 24 hours. Imagine that. Crazy. So we've come a long way since then. Early 1900s is actually when the very first strip lash was patented by a woman named Anna Taylor. So basically her theory was she was attaching hair fibers, not necessarily human. Most likely it was mink back then. Mink was kind of like the trend with a lot of actors and actresses back then to enhance their facial features. And think of Charlie Chaplin and his mustache, right? He would always have those really dark mustaches. So that was using mink hair. Basically, all she did is she created some sort of technique where she was actually able to apply these hairs to a strip of fabric, and that way they could glue it on to the actress's eyelids to enhance them for performance. And then 1916 was actually the very first Hollywood debut for an actress to be wearing lash extensions. So the movie was called Intolerance, and basically what it was he wanted the heroine of the movie. Her name was Sina Owen. She's that beautiful woman that in that picture there. And he wanted to create an effect where her eyelashes would just literally brush up against her cheeks for the movie. And it actually, because of the real hair that was being used, she unfortunately got very allergic. She broke out. So it was very uncomfortable for her. But she made it last, and I'm sure you can find clips on YouTube if you want to look it up. The movie was called Intolerance. It's kind of neat. So kind of our bread and butter in the industry. So what keeps the clients coming back, and how is this a money maker, is that, okay, so we're going to be applying a lash extension set to our clients. And in order for them to maintain that look, it's required for them to come back about every 2 to 3 weeks, kind of depending on their natural lash shedding cycle, which will be explained all in the course. We're going to go over this so you have a better understanding. But long story short, on average, we lose about 3 to 5 eyelashes a day. Okay, so just think of that. If we have 80 to 100 eyelashes per eye and we're losing about 3 to 5 a day, then after the course of 2 to 3 weeks, that's going to lead to about 40 to 50 eyelashes being naturally shed. So therefore, the client needs to come back so that those new lashes that have popped through, we can place an eyelash extension onto, or the ones that are grown out a little bit too much, we'll actually remove and replace with a new one to prevent any sort of damage to the natural lash. And then a little introduction to the products that you're going to see me use in the demonstration. So adhesive, we don't call it glue. The reason being is generally glue is some sort of substance that becomes sticky and will dry over the course of time, but will become sticky again once we add water. It's generally like a water soluble solution. Whereas for the lash glue, it is an adhesive. So when the lash adhesive completely dries, it's going to be like a hard plastic. So there's not really any sort of way to reverse that. So that's why getting the lashes completely dry before the client goes away and telling them how to maintain them is super important for lash artists to understand so that they can carry the information on. So their clients are able to have these amazing lash extensions and wear them long term. So primer is another term that you're going to see. Not really something that we use as beginners, but as you advance, you can add this to your cart. Some lash kits actually include it, but they don't include why we use it. So basically, long story short, again, I'm gonna keep saying that because I'm really just trying to keep this a really quick little video introduction for you. Primer is used to stabilize the pH balance of the natural eyelashes, and it's going to help remove any oils from the day. Super Bonder is something that everybody should be using. Super Bonder is what's going to help cure the outer layer of the adhesive so that the clients can go home and wash their lashes, have a shower if they want. And it just kind of starts speeding up that curing process. And it's also going to allow the adhesive to dry with a little bit more flexibility. So it's not just like a really hard piece of plastic on there. It's a little bit more durable for when we sleep and whatnot. Now, removal solution is very, very important. Please do not do any sort of eyelash extensions on a live model unless you have removal solution available to you. Okay. So if you're someone who's just kind of practicing at home, not too sure if this is something you want to do, please do make sure you have removal solution when you're going to be working on your friends and family. Just because there is so many things that can go wrong. It's really hard to remove the lash properly if you haven't been trained to do certain methods. So what the removal solution is going to do, it's actually going to break down that bond so that the adhesive becomes tacky again. So you're able to safely remove those natural lashes or the lash extension from the natural lash. So for tweezers, we use two different tweezers. One's going to be an isolation tweezer, which is what we're going to be using to separate the lashes so that we can safely apply a lash extension to one single eyelash. Okay. The pickup tweezer, it's called the one that I use in all of my trainings and that I recommend everybody start off with is a J-curve tweezer. This is going to be a very universal tweezer for you to start off with. You can use it for classic lashing. You can use it for removals. Eventually down the road, you can use it for your mega volume sets. I love my J-curve tweezer. I still have the one from my very first class from 5 years ago. Doesn't work as much as well as it used to. Kind of been dropped a few times, but I still have it and I still use it from time to time. Straight tweezers or the curved tweezers are used for isolating. I will show you those once I switch my camera around and do the live demo. There is a little device called a nano mister that every lash artist should have. I feel like the nano misters are becoming lost in the industry because we do have all these other products to use afterwards. I insist, even though you're using the super bonder, do continue to use your nano mister. It's a really nice after treatment for the client. It's very like low cost. And it's going to help if there's any fumes that are kind of trapped in between the iPad and the eyes, it's going to help kind of wash that away. And it helps reduce sensitivity by like 100% for most people. It also helps assist with a faster curing time as well. So even though we might do the super bonder first, I still like to use my nano mister and get everybody to use nano misters. And then the under eye gel pads. So if you've ever seen um, um, maybe a TikTok or something with someone doing the lash extensions, they're going to have that cute little white pad underneath. Some people are still using tape. Everyone kind of has their own thing. Kind of depends on what they're charging for lashes, what they can afford for the cost and stuff. So these little iPads or the tape is going to hold down those natural lashes because when we close our lashes, it's kind of like a Venus flytrap, right? So we're going to want to hold these bottom lashes down so that they don't get mixed up and we accidentally put extensions on the ones that shouldn't have them. So adhesive information, this is probably the number one thing that I love people to just absorb for their first time. It's a lot of information. Understanding how the adhesive works and the science behind cyanoacrylate is something that will come over time. Which is where my app is awesome because you can go back at any time. Everybody gets lifetime access. It doesn't matter if you're taking an in-person course with me or a virtual, or you just decided to buy it just to have in your back pocket, literally. You can go back anytime, review my adhesive information. I've broken it down into about 4 or 5 different modules so that it's not one big lecture and you're able to absorb the information, maybe take some information, go back to your lashing room and make some adjustments. And of course, I'm always here to help you figure out what's going on with your adhesive, right? So in order for us to be able to monitor the way our adhesive is working, so that our clients are able to achieve maximum retention with you, is getting one of these little hygrometers. If you are shopping, and you're getting your little lists together of what you need to buy, before you start doing your lash services, or maybe you've already been doing lash services, and you didn't even know this little guy existed. They cost about $10, $15 on Amazon. So I do recommend going out and getting yourself one of these. If you're going to follow the adhesive training that I offer, you're definitely going to need one, because I don't know how to explain how it works without knowing the temperature and humidity, of the environment that you're working in. So lash glue, lash adhesive is very sensitive to humidity, okay, and the temperature. They both kind of play hand in hand, because the cyanoacrylate, in order for it to start its curing process, needs to be it needs moisture to start its curing process. It's not like something that, air is going to just dry. It's actually the moisture in the air that's going to help trigger the curing process and kind of decide how fast or how slow the adhesive is going to dry. So if that makes sense, that's why you need one of these things. If you have access to my app already, there is an Amazon link available to you, and there's a couple different options on there. Ones that I've used, ones that I still use. It's kind of one of those things that you just have to buy once. I do recommend having more than one, just for those times when the battery's getting low, and kind of questions, right? If it's right or wrong, then if you have a backup, then if the batteries probably need to be replaced. So what you're seeing here, this is actually my level 1 Pro adhesive, that I offer I include it with all of my my starter kits. And this is kind of the things on the screen that you're going to have to understand, in order for you to be successful with using a cyanoacrylate based glue. All the glues on the market right now, even those new LED ones, are cyanoacrylate based. Okay, there's kind of no other kinds around there. There is other ones on the market, but that's for a different day. I've tried cyno free, kind of the retention's not there. So anyways, here's kind of the numbers that you're going to need to know is the humidity. You can see right there, and then it's going to tell you the degrees Celsius recommended for your room. Of course, this is going to be different for everybody. And there's reasons why some people need 35%, and there's reasons why some people need 50, which I will explain to you everything in the course. One thing that's really good to know is like if you're going to take anything from this little free tutorial, is that your glue needs to be replaced at least every 4 weeks. Okay, that's like at the max. Okay, I prefer to just replace my glue every 2 weeks. That's just the way I am. I have a very quick like I go through a lot of clients in a week. So I tend to need to replace my glue a little bit more often than 4 weeks, of course, because I'm constantly opening and closing the bottle. But on average, once a month. So you just set up a date once a month and just toss out the old stuff and get a new bottle. And then also I'm going to show you how to activate that glue properly. By hand, it always needs to be for 5 minutes for your first time. Or there's also little contraptions out there called like glue shakers and stuff. And then for storage, it's really important. I'll show you my little storage container once I switch the camera around, and show you my lashing view. And basically it needs to be stored in an airtight container at room temperature. Okay, we're not going to be storing it in the fridge. We're not going to be putting it in the microwave. You don't want to keep it in the bathroom. Nothing like that, because remember, it's temperature and humidity sensitive. So we kind of want to have it in the kind of most ideal room temperature and lowest humidity environment possible. And then of course, when we are working with the glue, we're going to want to shake it quite often. Okay, it's going to be something that you're going to be doing during every appointment, before, during, and after. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. But you can see in the little diagrams there, basically pretty straightforward. You're going to remove the glue cap. You're going to use something at the tip of the nozzle to prevent it from coming out. You're going to really shake it back and forth. And then when you dispense the drop, you kind of want it at a, I believe it's an 85-degree angle. Not quite 90, and it's not quite like 45. So getting the angle of the glue is really going to help you get a proper glue drop for dipping the extension into. And then of course, we're always going to want to wipe the nozzle off, just to prevent any sort of issues with the nozzle and the cap getting stuck to each other. So a couple of fun little tips there. So what are your lash extensions made from? I get this question all the time. I even have the odd time, clients that have been getting lash extensions for years and years and years, all of a sudden it comes up just in a conversation. They're like, oh, by the way, what are these things made out of? Is it horsehair? It's not horsehair. I don't know if that was ever a thing. But the mink hair used to be a thing, right? So some lash companies are still continuing to label their products as mink. What I've discovered, just through creating my own lash brand and stuff, the faux mink are one of the lower quality lashes. So prices are going to reflect. If you do some shopping, you're going to notice that lash trays range from $15 to $30. And it's kind of like, well, what's the difference? The main thing is going to be the quality. Okay. Of course, the lower end ones that are like a mink, faux mink, they're going to be a little bit cheaper. They're not going to last as long. Okay. And you're going to have issues with clients with the lashes falling. They're not going to hold, especially if they're, maybe exposed to some heat or whatever. The mink ones tend to not last as long and look beautiful as long. So you're not going to want to keep them in your inventory for probably more than a year and a half. They're just going to have to get tossed. So investing in quality products is really what's going to make you be a better lash artist. So there is also terms like silk and cashmere that you're going to see. Again, the quality is probably the only way how you're going to know is going to be based on the price. Okay. So again, for me, outside of my own lash brand, when I'm searching for products to try, maybe it's a new curl, or color or something, I look for silk. Silk is a good one, because I'm an advanced artist. A little bit harder to work with silk though. But then there's also cashmere. Generally, those are made out of the high quality Korean PBT lashes. So you can expect to usually pay $23 and up for higher quality lashes. Basically, I guess what it comes down to is all lash extensions do come from a factory now, and nothing is real hair, especially in Canada. So if you're buying your products in Canada, then most likely they're not going to be any sort of old-fashioned, non-vegan. Lash extension. Okay, so just kind of a really good quick introduction to lash curls. There's so many curls available. There's actually new ones out there that aren't even on this list, that I'm learning about just kind of every day. C curl and a D curl are going to be the two main ones. So if you're someone out there who's kind of wondering what you need to be ordering, to build your inventory, just look for C curls. C curls are going to be very universal, for everybody. Look for mixed trays when you're trying out new brands. Try not to invest too much money into one brand. Just do the mixed trays, order some C curls, order some D curls if you have, clients that like a little bit more of a dramatic effect. And then when you find the product that is best for you, you can go ahead and invest in maybe the single length trays. So lash diameters. This was very confusing to me when I was learning. I did not understand, probably until I took the volume course, 2 years after I became certified to be a lash artist. So basically the way how we know, if a lash extension is going to be good enough, for our client's natural lashes is going to be based on the weight. Okay. You're going to know once you finish the design course, the design portion of my course, which lashes your clients can be wearing. Susie Q, she might be able to hold a 0.20 lash, whereas Miss Mary, she's a little bit more of an older client, who's maybe not as healthy of a lash, so she's got to wear 0.10. You're going to understand by the end of the course, which one's which. Okay. And if not, then we just work together and I'll help you. And then when it comes to the application process, the reason why we start off with classic lashes is because it's really, really important to understand isolation and placement of the lash extension. In this photo here, this is actually my very first model that I did. This was after, I think I had 2 sit downs with her. If you have a little bit of a trained eye and you're just kind of chiming in to see what I'm doing, you probably see there's too much glue being used. There's a lot of stickies, but I'm quite proud to show this off because, if you compare it to my work now, you can just see like practice makes progress. So isolation is super duper important so that you don't end up with little stickies and so that your client can wear, them long term. So what I mean by isolation is, as you can see here, I'm using my tweezers to separate the lash extensions just to isolate one single natural lash. Okay, and we're just going to focus on taking that natural lash and placing a lash extension either on top or on the bottom. Okay. As a beginner, it's really important. We are just going to be focusing on that one-to-one application technique. Okay, and then as you build your skills, then we can talk about side placement, and then we can talk about, adding more lashes, to your placement, meaning volume. Okay, so once you're comfortable with isolation and how your glue is, then that's when you carry on and you can move on to, volume lashing techniques. Isolation is very important because it's going to prevent any of the other either natural lashes or lash extensions that have already been placed from sticking together. Okay, so I show you a bunch of techniques on how to make this a little bit easier, by using tape, in my tutorials through my Fraser Valley Lash Academy group as well. Isolation, is the number one thing is that when you get the isolation correct, you are protecting any sort of damage from being done to that natural lash line. That is our main priority as a lash tech, because if our clients do not have healthy lashes, we are not able to apply lash extensions to them anymore. Okay. All too often still I'm hearing about people having to give their lashes a break. And that's because they're going to a lash artist that is not using proper methods. So I will teach you that. Even in the advanced courses, when we move on to volume, I'm going to teach you how to apply a volume lash correctly so that there is no damage being done to that natural lash. So just kind of a visual here. This is how the eyelash extensions are going to be placed. In my starter kits, when you come in person, we start off with flat lashes, and I find them to be a lot easier for us to work with because we have so many things that we're trying to get used to, isolating, holding the tweezers, using the glue. The flat lashes, they're just a little bit more thicker for us to allow for that one-to-one placement while our eyes are starting to adjust to looking at something super fine and super close up. So there's a really good visual of both the eyelash extensions. We do go way more into depth about the different types of lashes and how to place them and whatnot in the course as well. And then lastly, here it is again, working with the glue. If you don't know how to work with the glue, you're going to have continuous problems, right? So this is a big part. We probably spend at least 45 minutes of the in-person class just talking about how to use the glue, how to dip the glue, how to make sure you have that perfect glue dip, that there's not too much adhesive or too little adhesive. There are problems that come just with that in general. So this is just a cute little snapshot of something that you can look forward to in my course. So it's really important that we have a dome shape for our glue drop, okay? Not a flat one, not one that's kind of spread out. If that's happened, then you just kind of have to redo your glue drop. Okay, so I'm going to I'm going to turn the screen over here and I'm going to show you how to place a lash extension. Okay, so let's see here. So stop screen sharing. I think that I did first. Okay, and then I'm going to go like this. And there she is. Okay, so alrighty, so this is my mannequin. She is she's already got lash extensions on, and she's already been mapped out. So I'm thinking next month for our free lash class, I'm actually going to show you a little bit more about mapping and maybe doing a removal. But for today, we're just going to focus on placing lash extensions because this is the very first free lash class that I've done. So thank you for joining. If you do have any questions, you can reach out to me at Fraser Valley Lash Academy at gmail.com. You can reach out to me in the group. If you have already downloaded the Lash Academy app, there is a section in the community for you to that'll kind of show you how to connect with me one-on-one. Okay. So that's kind of a little straightforward thing right there. In my lash course, I'm going to show you how to burp the bottle, how to properly shake the bottle, how to take care of your bottles. This one here, I'm just trying to figure it out. This is my Pro adhesive. So this is my quick dry glue. If you can see, my adhesive is not being happy there. So I'm actually gonna do one more little drop there. you have to kind of be a little bit picky about what your glue looks like and when you're going to be using it, because it will affect the way how your retention is done. So just to kind of show you, this is what the J-curve tweezer looks like. This is my brand. This is, oh no, this is a Fix Beauty brand. So this is J-curve tweezer. Very nice. It's got the diamond coating for really nice holding. And then this is the isolation tweezer I told you about. This is that sunset curve one. Love it. It allows for me to just get right over that brow line for easy placement. So we've got about 4 minutes left here, so I'm going to make this really quick. If you want to see a little bit more of how to isolate up closely, I have some better videos available on my YouTube channel. I will share the channel in the group if you want to take a look and see a little bit more up close. So pretty much what I'm doing here is I've already got the lash isolated, and I'm going to take the extension and I'm placing it right on top. Just like that. Not too sure how the video is going to look. This is my first time using this camera in this kind of light. So please forgive me if you can't see anything. But again, I'm going to post the video of isolation in the group after this, okay? So there's two. Okay, I'll do one more and then I'm going to flip the camera over and just say some final words. Okay. There's that. And I'm going to place that one right underneath, just like that. Alrighty. So, like I said, if you have any questions, please do reach out to me. I'm going to just do this. Okay, so thank you for joining me in my very first free lash class. It's important, if you want to be a part of these classes, please do make sure that you are RSVPing. If you want to be put on the mailing list so that you get notification on when I am going live, definitely do that. Sign up and watch this group. Make sure you are liking and following. Like, you need to go in and change your group settings so that you receive all notifications. Default for Facebook is to just send you the popular ones. So because I'm just starting out, most likely people are not going to be notified. So definitely do change your notification settings. And do sign up, because like, I was supposed to actually do this course last week. I had some personal things come up. My pet has been really sick. So I actually ended up in the vet all day last Monday, so I was unable to do this. So those people who did sign up were notified, and they totally understood. But if you were one of those people that didn't sign up, I'm sorry that there was no communication. But yeah, just let me know if you want to be part of the group that knows about all these lash classes. If you want information about how to join my course, that would be something that you can reach out to. And I'm going to say you better have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again next month. Okay, bye for now.